to start off this festive glam look, we need a long wearing full coverage foundation, and today I've chosen the Revlon Colorstay foundation in Ivory 1110, and I'm just going to be applying this to my face in sections and then blending it out with a damp beauty blender. And I'm doing this because it is a matte foundation and it does dry quite quickly, and then it becomes quite hard to blend in the process, so that's why I'm just blending my face in sections. I'm skipping the primer today because it is winter here in the UK and I have quite dry skin, so I don't necessarily have any need for a primer at the moment. I'm using a concealer that is relatively new to me, and this is the Lasting Perfection Concealer in Fair from Collection, and I'm just going to be applying that under my eyes and on any blemishes on my face, if I can talk, and I'm just going to once again blend that all in with a damp beauty blender. This is very similar consistency to the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, but it's nowhere near as light as the shade Chantilly. But once again, it is a brilliant concealer, but it does tend to crease under the eyes if it isn't set properly. So we are going to sort that out by setting it with my favourite Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. I'm just going to apply a bit of that on with a beauty blender and wipe off very lightly any excess with a brush. I'm then just going to set my face very, very lightly because it is a full coverage foundation with MAC Studio Fix. And then we're going to move on to those eyebrows. You can kind of see the hairs growing back underneath the thicker bits of my eyebrows, if that makes sense. If you aren't aware and you're new to my channel, I am growing my eyebrows back out. It has taken quite a long time, but they are getting there, but they do look a bit crazy without any eyebrow powder. The powder I'm using at the moment is Thunder by Illamasqua. And I just tend to apply that around the bottom of my brows and the top, but just where they need to be darkened up to match the rest of my very dark brow. To prime my eyes, I'm of course using my MAC Painterly Paint Pot just to cancel out any discoloration. And the shadows that I'm going to be using today are from the beautiful Urban Decay Naked palette. I love, love, love this palette. I'm going in with Naked first on a big fluffy blending brush, and I'm just going to blend that from inner corner to outer corner to act as a transition shade and just to warm up that crease area. And this is a Smashbox brush. I believe I got this with my Full Exposure palette. Once that shadow is all blended through nicely, I'm going to swap over to my Sigma E30 brush, and I'm just going to pick up some of that eyeshadow called Creep, and I'm going to apply that to my outer corners. And I'm just going to do this quite lightly at first, so I'm going to apply, blend, and repeat. And it's better to do it that way than to apply a crap load of really, really dark eyeshadow and then have a big mess on your eyes. So that's the way I prefer to do it. So I'm just going to apply that to my outer corner, take it very, very lightly into my crease, and then start blending it out. I'm actually using this little brush here that I got from my Maya Mia palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills to blend that shadow out. I really, really like this precise blending. It just fits into my eye socket really nicely. And then I'm going to be going back in with a pencil brush, applying more of that Creep shade, and then blending and once again repeating. Once I'm happy with that, I'm then going in with Half Baked from the Urban Decay Naked palette. I was obviously far too excited to show you what it looked like in the palette that I just wanted to put it on my eyes, but as you can see, it is a very beautiful, vibrant gold shade. And I'm just going to apply this all over my lid, and then I'm going to blend it into that darker shade in the outer corners there. And then once again, I'm going back in with that darker shade and just adding a little bit more, just to deepen things up a bit. And then once again blending out. And then I'm going to blend out that darker shade again with a little bit more Naked on that Smashbox fluffy blending brush. Just to really help that gold eyeshadow pop, I'm going to apply a little bit more with my fingertip. And then once I'm finally happy with how that all looks, I'll be taking Creep on my Sigma E30 pencil brush, and I'll be applying that to the outer corner of my lower lash line. And then I'll be applying Half Baked and then blending all of that through. I'm applying the shade called Virgin to my brow bone and inner corners of my eyes to highlight. And firstly I'm using a really battered old Gemma Kid brush, one of my favourite brushes of all time, it's so old. And then I'm taking a Real Techniques Detailer brush just to add that highlight to my inner corners. And then to highlight that area even more, I'll be taking that same shade on a fingertip and then highlighting the sides of my nose and then just blending that through to that transitioning shade. Then we just need to line that waterline, tight line, and apply some mascara. I'm using NYX Waterproof Eyeliner, and then for mascara, you probably guessed it, I'm using my Maybelline Lash Sensational. To contour today, I'm using my NYX Blush in Taupe. I really love this for contouring. It's a great cool toned blush, and I'm going to be applying this with my Real Techniques contour brush, and I'm just going to be following the natural shadows of my face just to hollow out those cheekbones. I'm taking that up to the temples, and I'm applying a little bit on my forehead as well because we are going full coverage Festive Glam. And then once that contour is applied, I'm just going to take my damp beauty blender once again and just pat that over my face to make sure everything looks nice and blended. For highlight, I'm taking my Balm Mary Lou-Manizer because it is the most shimmery thing of life, and I'm going to be applying that to the high points of my face, the top of my cheekbones, above the arches of my brows, a little bit on my cupid's bow, and down my nose as well. For blush, I'm using this shade called Score by Urban Decay from their Afterglow blush collection. I really love this shade, it's really nice. It's very pigmented, so you only need a tiny bit. And then once again, I'm just going to take that powder brush that I used to set my face with my MAC Studio Fix, and I'm not taking any extra product, just what's on there, and I'm just going to pat that over my face to make sure everything looks nice and blended once again. I'm then going to line my lips with Bourjois Contour Edition lip liner in Tout Rouge or Tout Rouge, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. And then I'm taking this Maybelline lipstick in Pleasure Me Red. This is a really beautiful colour lipstick, and I'm just going to apply that to my lips, of course. That is our finished full coverage glam look. I hope you enjoyed this, guys, and thank you so much for watching.